Hey guys, Steve Trowbridge here. So this is going to be a very different video from usual. I thought I'd do a kind of a fun video and do a video about 10 movies that I personally dislike or just find that are overrated to me personally. I thought it would be an interesting video to do. I've seen other people on YouTube do this exact same video, and it seems like a fun idea, so I thought I'd try it out. And you know, if you watch this, maybe just let me know in the comments, or maybe even make a video of your own telling me or others what your top 10 movies that you find are overrated or that you dislike or whatever. Now, I will say that the first 4 movies, I'm going to go from 10 up. The first 4 movies I don't necessarily hate or even dislike necessarily, but I still don't care for them a whole lot. Just so you know. But basically from 6 up, I can pretty much say I dislike the movies from 6 up. So starting with number 10, The Shining. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. As its own thing, The Shining as its own thing, as its own psychological horror movie, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I'd say there's been better horror movies, but it's pretty good. But as an adaptation, fucking horrible. Okay, fucking awful. See, the thing is, I'm such a big fan of Stephen King's original book, The Shining, because it was the one that originally wrote the story. I'm such a big fan of The Shining, the book, and one of the things that Stephen King is great at is writing and developing characters that feel real to you, and characters that feel real to you, and characters that you can just fall in love with and everything. He's great at characterization, and the movie just takes away all of that characterization and just tosses it out the window, and everything in the movie is just flat. See, it's funny because Jack Torrance, the main character, some people view him as a villain. I would actually view him as a tragic hero. But if you've only seen the movie version, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't even think that. You'd wonder why I think that. Because in the book, you know, you're following along, you know, with Jack Torrance, who is this. He's this guy who's dealing with you know, alcoholism. He's an alcoholic. You know, he's trying to mend his marriage, which is on the rocks, which is suffering. His marriage with Wendy. And you see that he loves his son, Danny, a lot and everything. So, you know, you've got a very flawed, very human character who is trying his best, you know, and you feel for the character and everything, and you know that, you know, despite all of the flaws and the struggles that he's going through, he is a good person. But it's just, you know, will all of the flaws and all these problems that he's dealing with, on top with the Overlook Hotel, will all that bring him down, which we all know it does eventually. But, you know, just a very interesting character, one of the best characters that I think Stephen King has ever written, and I would not view him as a villain. I'd view him as an anti-hero, or not well, maybe an anti-hero, but a tragic hero, if you will. Wendy Torrance, too. I mean, in the book, Wendy Torrance is, you know, a strong character, you know, I mean, a strong female character, but yeah, I mean, she's a strong character, you know. In the movie, she's kind of just this passive, mousy character, it's just nothing like Wendy Torrance in the book at all. Danny is just kind of there, and he has these powers. Don't mind the cats in the background. They're fucking fighting, and they start fighting, of course, when I start filming a video. But, no, but, Danny is just kind of there. He kind of has, you know, the Shining and everything, and he doesn't come off as intuitive and stuff as Danny is in Stephen King's original book. Plus, the whole finger thing and the weird voice I just thought was stupid. You know, people could debate all day long about whether Stanley Kubrick handled that thing better or Stephen King did, but I just thought that was stupid. But yeah, anyways, that's why I don't really I like it okay as its own thing, but as an adaptation, it really is fucking awful. Don't listen to anyone who tells you otherwise. Number 9, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, I've heard that the Johnny Depp version is actually more faithful to Roald Dahl's original book, and that may be the case. I've read the book. although I read it in fifth grade. My fifth grade read it as a class. Read it as a class. Read the book as a class. We read the book. Apparently can't speak today, but as a class we read Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Um, and apparently the like I said, the Depp version was more faithful to the book. But I don't know. See, the Gene Wilder version to me is just much more. Just it has more life to it. It just has a charm to it and everything, and it's more pleasant and everything. It's better on so many levels. The Johnny Depp version just feels entirely bleak and lifeless, and Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka is just weird and just creepy, and whereas Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka is witty and funny and charming and just a cool character and stuff. You know, and see, in Charlie the Chocolate Factory, you had that whole side story with his father, which I don't remember being in the book. So maybe it was, I just don't remember. It's been a while, but I don't remember that whole side story with Willie and his father being in the book. But I don't know. I don't really care for it. I mean, I don't think it was Johnny Depp's fault. I think it was just the way he was directed and everything, and the way that they wrote the character and stuff. So, you know, I mean, everyone gives fine performances, but I mean, I don't know. But I feel like the performances in the Gene Wilder version are just kind of better. I mean, nothing wrong, like I said, I mean, nothing wrong with the performances in the Johnny Depp version, but I don't know. Number 8, Coraline. Now, this is also based on a book, but I haven't read the book. But the movie, see, I used to be okay with the movie, but then my sister watched this movie to death, and so now I'm sick of it. I still don't dislike it necessarily, but well, you know, even then, Coraline, I had problems with it. My biggest problem is that Coraline as a character, the main character, to me, she just comes off as a fucking brat. Like, did anyone else who's seen this movie, did you get that impression too? Like, I understand that she's this kid that's moved into this new area and stuff, and she's bored and stuff, but she just came off as a fucking whiny, insufferable brat in the movie. And it's like, I didn't fucking care what happened to her. Honestly, I was just like, well, bitch, you had this coming to you. You wanted something different. Here you go. Take it. You know? But no, the main character, I didn't like the main character. The other characters, I didn't really care for. You know, the mother in the alternate dimension was creepy. I will give you that. The cat was kind of cool too. I did like the cat, but other than that, just the characters didn't really like him that much. Didn't really care about them. The story is interesting, but just the characters, I can't bring myself to care about them, so it kind of just takes me out of it. So I don't know. That's number 8. Number 7 is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So I think this movie was really, being honest here, I think this movie was really just made to get more money out of the Harry Potter universe. Even though this movie has nothing to do with Harry Potter, it just happens to take place in the same world universe that Harry Potter is in, or isn't in at this time, in this movie at this time, in the universe in this movie. But you get what I mean. But no, it just, see, I don't know. The effects were good, the CGI was good, the cinematography was good, but I don't know, I didn't really, again, the characters just really came off as flat to me. The only characters that really had any depth to them really were Newt, the main character, and Credence, the basically the orphan boy who we find out more about in the sequel that came out recently last year. Which I actually thought was better. I actually thought The Crimes of Grindelwald was actually better. Some people didn't. I did. I thought it was much more interesting and enjoyable and exciting and stuff like that. This one was just bland to me, and really it just came off as all flash, not a whole lot of substance, because again, you've got the nice visuals and the CGI creatures and stuff, but aside from that, there's not really much there, at least in my opinion. There's this whole romance between this muggle, they call them no-mages in America, which I think is fucking lame, but this muggle and this witch, there's this romance between the two that I don't give a fuck about. I think it's just, don't care about. But yeah, so wasn't a fan of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, at least the first one. Alright, now we're getting into the movies that I really don't like. Starting with number 6, and this probably should have been higher on the list, but whatever, nothing to do about it. Number 6, Despicable Me. Now, I don't like anything about this movie. Gru as a main character, I don't care about. His relationship with the adopted kids, I don't care about. I think the kids are really annoying, to be really honest with you. But the thing that makes me hate this movie the most, and the movies that it spawned, the sequels, the fucking Minions. I hate these things with a burning passion. I hate Minions with a passion. Whenever I fucking see them on screen, all the fucking memes and shit, I just want to stab things. I want to pick up the sharpest thing near me. I want to stab shit. I hate these things. I hate them. I want to toss them all into a burning pit and hear them suffer. I hate the Minions. I hate the movies that they spawned. The Minions are devil's spawn. I hate the Minions. Therefore, I hate Despicable Me. I already don't really care for it as its own thing with the fucking Minions. I hate the Minions. Fuck the Minions. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. And then, of course, the next one I also hate with a burning passion. Now, I wasn't gonna put this one on here because I don't feel like a lot of people like this one either. Because a lot of these movies are movies that other people like that I don't personally care for. But number 5 is The Last Jedi, which is the most recent. Well, no, actually, Solo was the most recent Star Wars movie, but the most recent Star Wars movie, at least in the current trilogy. This movie is basically hated worldwide by most Star Wars fans. The few Star Wars fans that have liked it, I haven't heard very good arguments from them at all as to why this movie is good. But I could go on all day about this movie and why it's horseshit, just why it's fucking awful, but plot holes galore, continuity errors, characters being butchered, specifically Luke Skywalker's character being butchered to death. Even Mark Hamill has said that he doesn't like how Luke's character was handled. Forced comedy. Stop trying to be fucking Marvel. Like, that's the last thing I need, is to feel like I'm watching a fucking Marvel movie when I'm trying to watch a Star Wars movie. And yeah, and another reason why I put this on here is this movie, despite, if you go onto IMDb and you look at the user reviews, you will find nothing but 1-star reviews, 2-star reviews. I think the highest I saw was a 5-star review. Yet it still has an overall score of 7.2 out of 10. And it has an 85 Metascore. There's something fishy going on there. I truly believe that there's something fishy going on with the ratings with The Last Jedi on IMDb and with Rotten Tomatoes and with the critics. I think they have probably been bought. But I hate The Last Jedi. I hate the fucking veiled political message, the whole feminist SJW agenda behind it. Fuck Kathleen Kennedy, who is the new president of Lucasfilms. Fuck her feminist agenda. And fuck the 4 Oscars it was nominated for. Yes, The Last Jedi was nominated for 4 Oscars. Fuck the Oscars it was nominated for. And fuck the people who chose to nominate it for 4 Oscars. Fuck off. Number 4, The Conjuring. So, this movie, I already didn't care for, but now I just dislike it. I almost just hate it because, so there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but there's just, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing original about it. You know, it's your average haunted house movie. Like, it was getting so much hype and everything. People were saying it's how it was such a great horror movie. But if you've seen a haunted house movie before, you've seen The Conjuring. You've seen one haunted house movie, you've seen them all. You know, this family moves into this house. They start to notice activity around the house. Sooner or later, someone gets possessed. They have a fucking exorcism. The end. It's it's just, there's nothing special about it. It's boring. It's bland. That's all I really have to say. Which sucks because, I mean, Vera Farmiga is in this movie, and she's a great actress, but, like, you know, I don't know. There's nothing special about it, boring, and the hype really just makes me hate it more, so yeah, fuck The Conjuring. I will say, the sequel, the second Conjuring, was actually better. I thought that one was a lot better. A little scarier. Number 3, Braveheart. I don't get this movie. Like, I don't understand why this movie has such rave reviews and is so beloved. I tried to watch this movie several times. The last time I tried to watch it, I got like maybe 2 hours into it, like an hour and a half, 2 hours in. I'm like, how fucking long is this movie? It was like another hour long. I was like, fuck this. It felt like it was going nowhere. It was boring. To me, it was boring, but like, it was kind of silly. I don't know. I didn't care for it. I didn't really care about any of the characters. I don't know. Just overrated really is the word. I don't get it. I don't get it. And the fact that it's overly long, overly drawn out, just makes it worse. So, yeah, fuck Braveheart. Number 2, Grease. I was going to put The Sound of Music in this spot, but because I'm going to be honest, the only musical, I think it's a musical, but the only musical that I like, that I can say that I like, is The Wizard of Oz, and that's because I watched it when I was a little kid, so I have a soft spot for Wizard of Oz. Other than that, okay, well, I guess some Disney movies are kind of sort of musicals too, but most musicals I can't fucking stand. Well, okay, so Disney movies, they have some songs in them, but they're not, like, completely, totally musicals. Like, I'm talking about musical movies that just have music singing, like, back-to-back every few minutes. But number 2 is Grease. My stepsister loves this movie, and I was kind of, because of the circumstance, I was kind of forced to watch it several times. I can't stand this movie. I can't stand the songs. I can't stand the characters. I can't stand the fucking storylines. I can't. This movie makes me want to slit my wrists. I just can't. You'll have to Clockwork Orange me to actually make me watch this fucking movie again. I can't, and it actually spawned a sequel. It just really comes down to, I mean, not liking musicals and the fact that this is like a teen high school romance. Like, it's basically High School Musical before High School Musical was a thing. No. Just no. No. Just fuck Grease. Fuck everything about it. And then finally, number 1, another Stanley Kubrick movie. But number 1, it's probably gonna get me some shit, but 2001, Space Odyssey. Again, I don't get this movie. I don't get it. Like, I appreciate what it's trying to go for with the allegories and the symbolism and stuff, but I just don't get it. I've watched this movie several times. I sat down once with my dad to watch this, and I can't get into it. I just don't understand it. Maybe I'm not intelligent enough to get it, but I don't understand it. It comes off as pretentious, to be really honest with you. It really just takes you through the passage of time, basically, and you follow this one guy a little ways into the movie, and like I said, I've tried to watch this movie several times, and each time I just fail to understand what the hype is about, what the praise is for, and everything. So I just don't get it. Like I said, I can respect what it's going for. And it was definitely way ahead of its time, I'll even say that, but again, I find it to be just, I don't understand it. I think it's kind of pretentious, boring, and there's not much else to really say because there's not really a plot, really. There's not not really a plot, not really any No characters besides the one guy. But no, I don't. I guess it just comes down to me not understanding it. But yeah, I put this one at the top because this one in particular has gotten a bunch of praise, and I just have never understood it like at all. But yeah, so anyways, that was my top 10 movies of top 10 list. Again, I can't talk today, but top 10 list of movies that I don't like, but everyone else seems to like, or at least some other people like, whatever. But yeah, so that's it for this one. Let me know what your top 10 movies are that you don't like that everyone else seems to like. And yeah, so that's it, and I'll talk to you guys later. So peace and have a good day.